Good morning. I hope you're feeling inspired. I hope you're well. For today's session, I was inspired by David. A couple days ago, I worked in watercolors and I tried different things. There's a couple accidents with the Inukshuks, and then I tried the florals, abstract florals. I really didn't like the florals, as in I felt like they were not successful. And at the very end of that vlog, I'll link the vlog here if you're curious. I was basically saying that I like a specific piece the most and one piece I didn't really like as much. And the one that I didn't really love was David's favorite. Let me show you. These are the two florals that I made in that vlog. And this one to me was very messy and I didn't like it. And David loves it. He liked it the most out of everything that I made in that session. He thought there was something very dramatic. He likes the black, the dark here. He felt like there was kind of two flowers superimposed. That was his favorite, and I was very surprised, and that made me think, and it confirms over and over again that everybody sees things a different way. Everybody has their own view of what is attractive or endearing or makes them feel a certain way, and it's very different for each person. I think that's so wonderful. It's wonderful because it makes the world beautiful, because everything is unique in a way. I don't know. I love when you like something that I don't like. I don't know why. I think it's interesting to see everybody's tastes. So it made me feel like I should explore florals more and abstract watercolor more, because I enjoy the process, the doing it, even if sometimes I get a little, I wouldn't say frustrated, I get maybe overwhelmed because I'm not sure how to navigate it because it's so different. I do love it. I like the randomness of it. I like working with water with a minimal setup. I like the transparencies. It's very gentle, and I don't know, I want to work more with them. And I thought if David likes results like this that are kind of like a bit muddy and like more dramatic, maybe some of you do as well. So I'm going to work on florals today in watercolor. I'm gonna try a few things and see if I could find something new, something that I love or that you might enjoy. Let's check it out. all done. I worked on 5 pieces, which I find is pretty good. And I'm kind of happy with the results. I didn't find any mind-blowing discoveries. I'm just learning the medium. I find that within each piece there's stuff that I like and maybe some things that I would do differently. Anyways, let's take a look. Here's the first one. I attempted roses. I like the color scheme in this. I like this rose the best. What I'm learning is that I tend to oversaturate the watercolor pigment like here, and I forget to leave transparencies like all this. And even more than this. I find that that's what's really nice about watercolor. And in the heat of the moment, I always forget to leave the transparencies. I find that that's just a question of learning the medium. I'm used to acrylic paints and it's very, very different. Here I attempted tulips. I like the composition of this. I like the color scheme as well. I could have been more minimal in the foliage and also maybe have more lighter shades in the petals, like lighter, softer yellows. Once again, I have to learn to leave the transparency alone instead of saturate and oversaturate. I had no idea where I was going with this piece. It was kind of like random. I didn't have anything in mind. For the other pieces, I knew I was trying to get a rose, I was trying to get a tulip, but I didn't take any reference images. I was just drawing from imagination and trying to work my way around the flower with that medium. Whereas here I kind of went spontaneously without having a flower in mind. I quite like this flower here. I find that that's interesting. Once again, these roses, they're overworked. Clearly I oversaturated. They started very light, airy and nice with a muted blue, which I really love, but then I kept adding and I'm not in love with the result of this. I find that they still work within the composition because the focal point is this big flower in the middle, which is very interesting to me. I like the way that one came out. This one is very, very busy. Once again, I didn't have any type of flower in mind. I just went on instinct. I was thinking more color palette for this. I was thinking purple and greens. And this composition is very, very busy. At the very end, I went in with a gel pen to give some texture. Overall, I think it gives a very interesting result, even if there's no real focal point. It's kind of a flat image and it's a bit all over the place. For some reason, I don't dislike it. I think it's interesting. The last piece was inspired by this acrylic that I made a while back. I wanted to see where I could go with watercolor. It was kind of hard to work backwards and reserve the white instead of putting white petals. So it was a challenge. I wanted to try and see how I could make it happen. I think I could have reserved more white within the flower petals and maybe went back in to add a little bit of shading, kind of work them a little bit more. I'm not sure about the foliage. Again, it's a little bit muddy. I think less is more. I should have maybe kept to a more delicate stem and just use this blue, black blue as the background. But overall, there's some nice bits in there. I'm not used to drawing or painting flowers. What I'm learning and realizing is that if I want to explore florals in an abstract way, I have to think more 3D for it to be more interesting, I think. So a flower is like a cup, so I have to get that notion of building a cup within my composition, even if it's an abstract floral that I'm trying to render. I think that's where things get a little bit more interesting. But watercolor and flowers go very well together. Have to practice a little bit more. I'm looking at them right now, trying to figure out if I have a favorite. I might have a favorite. I'll pop all 5 pieces at the end. If you want to share which one is your favorite, I will meet you in the comments. And we'll see each other tomorrow for another day in the studio. I'm sending you good inspirational vibes. Bye.